But it's important to remember that if there's bumps along the way, that's just a part of the process. If you can embrace that aspect of being a pre-med student, I guarantee you the experience will be. Today's video, I'm going to go over a few tips for students who struggle to maintain confidence as a pre-med student. Hello, my name is Nikhil. I'm a recent college graduate, medical school applicant, and one of the things that happened over the course of my college education, especially as a pre-medical student, was a lack of confidence. I think everybody who goes through that process is tested at some point and is required to sort of dig deep and find inner confidence. I wanted to go over a few things to just remember if you struggle with that confidence or feel like you may be behind. My first tip is to remember that everybody's journey to medical school looks different. One thing I did not realize as a pre-medical college student is that grades and test scores are just one facet of a medical school application. Not everybody who applies has a perfect GPA or a perfect MCAT score. And I think as pre-med students who are ambitious, it can be easy to set yourself to that high standard. But it's important to remember that if there's bumps along the way, that's just a part of the process. If you can embrace that aspect of being a pre-med student, I guarantee you the experience will be more enjoyable and you'll be more confident. So if you are struggling in your courses or with the MCAT, that's okay. There's a lot of different ways you can work around that. First, you could retake your courses or the MCAT and sort of apply your learnings while doing it again. If you do improve, that resilience and persistence can actually become a strength on your application. Beyond that, there's so many other facets of the application, such as research experiences, clinical experiences, volunteering, other passions and interests. And if you show how those experiences have related to your passion to become a physician and provider, that can outweigh maybe a few bad grades in some courses. So the thing I'm trying to tell you is don't just rule out medicine if you don't have the best grades or maybe you struggled early on, because it's actually very common. My second point of emphasis is that every medical school has a different sort of student they're looking for. And one way to sort of characterize this is by looking at the average test scores across different MD programs and even DO programs. One thing that surprised me when I started the medical school application process was how drastically different these averages are. Some schools had an average MCAT above a 520, while others, maybe even in the same state, have an average MCAT below a 510. Why do I share this? Creating a targeted and specific application list when you go through applications can ensure that you are actually applying to schools who are interested in students like you that cater to your strengths. Too many times, especially on social media, I see students who ask me questions saying, hey, I got this score, this grades, do you think I even have a chance to apply? And the fact of the matter is, yes, if you really want to go to medical school, there is a program out there for you. Another thing to remember is that these statistics I'm talking about are an average. So let's say the average GPA of a school is a 3.8. There's probably some students there that got close to a 4.0. There are probably other students there that got close to a 3.5, which means as long as you're within a relative range of the average GPA, you do have a chance of getting in. So I guess what I'm trying to say with this point is that medical schools are looking for different types of students, and the statistics and other metrics you can find on something like MSAR will provide you with some context beyond just the name of the school, and it can actually be very informative, creating a selective targeted application list that you can utilize when you apply. The last tip I want to say is that the journey to medicine is long, so take your time. I think students, and this is pretty normal, have a tendency to look at medical school as something that they have to get to as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. Getting good test scores and having good grades and experiences will definitely expedite this process. However, if you build your application through unique experiences over time and develop a really good understanding of the healthcare system, I think that can be just as impressive as a student coming out of college with really good test scores. I think the best way to look at this is by looking at the age ranges of certain schools. The average age of a medical school matriculant is wavering between 24 and 25, meaning on average, a student takes 2 gap years before they graduate college, before they enter medical school. What that means is that if it takes you a little bit extra time, it really is not out of the norm. I think it's a misconception that everybody goes straight from college to medical school. All in all, if there's one thing I've realized about the medical school application process as somebody that's just gone through it, it's that everybody's path is individual and unique. If you can sort of focus on your path without comparing yourself to others, it can allow you to focus on achieving your goals and getting to the place that you want to go. Thank you guys so much for listening. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, in the comments, if there's some topics you think I should discuss, I'd love to hear about it, and hope you guys have a great day. Peace.